Welcome back to Audiobooks 2.0, where we bring you the power of books and bite-sized, transformative insights. Today, we're diving into a profound and empowering read that's been changing lives around the world. The Mountain is You by Brianna Wiest. This book is all about self-sabotage, self-discovery, and transformation. And it's filled with lessons that'll stick with you long after you turn the last page. We've all faced obstacles, right? But what if I told you that the greatest obstacle we'll ever face is ourselves? In The Mountain is You, Wiest explains that self-sabotage often stops us from reaching our highest potential. And the key to conquering it? Turning inward and understanding our deepest fears, insecurities, and the limiting beliefs holding us back. Let's get into why we self-sabotage in the first place. We suggest that our minds are wired to keep us safe and comfortable. Sometimes this means protecting us from anything that feels uncertain or risky. But that safety often keeps us stuck. We're afraid of failure, judgment, or even success. And so, we unconsciously avoid anything that threatens the status quo. But here's the twist. Our biggest breakthroughs often lie just beyond our biggest fears. Wiest calls this the mountain we need to climb. The challenges within ourselves that seem insurmountable, but are actually the keys to our transformation. Wiest emphasizes the importance of self-awareness. Understanding who we are and why we behave the way we do is the first step to breaking free from self-sabotage. One of her powerful points is that self-sabotage usually isn't random. It's tied to deep, hidden beliefs about our worth, our abilities, and what we truly deserve. Think about it. Are you holding yourself back because you don't feel worthy of success? Do you fear failure so much that you'd rather not try at all? These are tough questions, but Wiest encourages us to confront them head-on because they unlock the door to a more authentic, fulfilling life. To climb our personal mountain, we need tools, and Wiest provides several. From embracing mindfulness and journaling to practicing self-compassion, these tools help us not only recognize but overcome self-sabotage. One practical tip from the book is to try journaling. Start by writing down your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Journaling helps you dig into what's really holding you back, and you might just discover some surprising things about yourself. Life often presents us with two kinds of mountains. There are those we must physically and emotionally conquer in our surroundings. Obstacles in our paths, relationships that challenge us, ambitions that require courage. But then, there are the mountains we build within ourselves, the silent forces that hold us back even when the world stands ready for our success. These internal mountains, formed from fears, doubts, regrets, and limiting beliefs, often feel insurmountable. They stand between us and our potential, whispering doubts in our moments of courage. In The Mountain is Within, we embark on a journey to conquer the inner summits. We will look at what makes us resist our growth, how our fears mask our deepest desires, and why we often repeat patterns that hold us back. The journey isn't about avoiding mountains, but recognizing their purpose, facing them head-on, and understanding that each challenge reveals a strength we didn't know we had. This book is structured to guide you through stages of self-discovery, helping you acknowledge the habits that no longer serve you, embrace healing, and create a mindset that aligns with self-love and transformation. Every chapter serves as a stepping stone, building the foundation of your new self. The inner peak, recognizing the mountains we create. There are few things as powerful as the human mind, and yet it is often our own minds that construct the most formidable obstacles we face. These obstacles can appear in subtle, almost invisible ways. Self-doubt, fear of failure, the belief that we aren't worthy or capable. Often, we don't recognize that the struggles we face are ones we've built. Internal mountains form from limiting beliefs, past disappointments, and unhealed pain. The goal of this chapter is to introduce you to the concept of self-created mountains and help you recognize how you may be unknowingly building obstacles in your life. Let's start by examining why we build these mountains, how to identify them, and what it means to truly see them for what they are. Why do we create internal mountains? Self-created mountains come in many forms: fear, procrastination, negative self-talk, but they all stem from a need for self-preservation. Sometimes, the mind builds walls as a way of protecting us from pain, from failure, or from rejection. When we encounter a difficult situation, our natural response is to avoid it if it feels overwhelming. We start convincing ourselves that it's too hard, too risky, or that we simply aren't ready. These self-created limitations offer us a false sense of comfort and security. If we believe we're incapable of success, we never have to face the risk of failing. If we doubt our worth, we never have to face the pain of rejection. However, while these beliefs may shield us temporarily, they also prevent us from experiencing growth, connection, and fulfillment. Identifying the inner mountains. Recognizing that we've built internal obstacles is the first step toward dismantling. Often, these mountains appear in our lives in the form of self-doubt. I'm not good enough. I don't have the talent. This voice convinces us that others can achieve things that we cannot. Procrastination. We delay taking action, telling ourselves that now isn't the right time or I'll do it when I feel ready. In reality, the fear of failure holds us back. Perfectionism, the belief that everything must be perfect or we're not allowed to try. Perfectionism often paralyzes us, preventing us from making any progress at all. Fear of vulnerability. We convince ourselves that opening up will lead to rejection or hurt, so we build walls instead of bridges. To identify your mountains, start by reflecting on your daily thought patterns. Are there areas of your life where you feel stuck, frustrated, or unmotivated? Examine these areas closely. They often reveal themselves in phrases like, I can't, I shouldn't, or I don't deserve. Each of these statements can be a clue to an internal mountain you've created. The courage to face the inner peak. Recognizing these self-created mountains is only half the journey. The other half requires the courage to confront them. This is where true growth begins, as we learn to dismantle the beliefs and behaviors that no longer serve us. To begin, ask yourself these questions. What am I afraid of? Understanding the root of your fear can help you address it directly. Often, our fears stem from childhood experiences, past failures, or societal pressures. Where do these beliefs come from? Are these beliefs truly yours, or are they ideas you've adopted from others? Family, friends, society? What do I gain by holding on to these limitations? Often, our inner mountains provide us with a safe zone. Recognizing that they offer comfort can help us let go of them more easily. Dismantling the mountain. The first steps. Dismantling self-imposed limitations is not about erasing your fears or struggles. Instead, it's about learning to work with them. Here are a few steps you can take to start breaking down the mountains you've created within yourself. 1. Practice self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself. Recognize that these beliefs serve a purpose once, even if they no longer do. Acknowledge them without judgment. 2. Challenge your thoughts. Start questioning the thoughts that hold you back. Ask yourself if they are based on facts or assumptions. For example, if you tell yourself, I'll never be successful, challenge that statement. Is it true, or is it rooted in fear? 3. Embrace vulnerability. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It's a powerful form of strength. Being honest about your fears allows you to confront them. 4. Take small steps. Overcoming self-doubt doesn't mean leaping over the entire mountain. Begin by taking small, manageable steps that gradually build your confidence. The promise of transformation. When you start to dismantle the mountains within, you'll begin to feel a shift. The journey of breaking down self-imposed limitations isn't easy, but it's deeply rewarding. Every step you take helps to reveal the person you've always been beneath the layers of fear, doubt, and regret. Imagine looking at yourself from the other side of that mountain. The person who took risks, who didn't let fear dictate their path, and who realized that their limitations were never truly real. This is the power of recognizing and conquering the inner peaks you've created. As you move through this book, each chapter will serve as a new pathway, helping you rise above the obstacles within and step closer to the life you were always meant to live. Self-sabotage uncovered. Why we resist our own growth. Self-sabotage is a phenomenon so universal that almost every individual has experienced it at some point. It's that internal tug of war, the voice that discourages us from pursuing what we desire most, and the doubts that creep in just when we're about to take a leap forward. Self-sabotage is often subtle, manifesting as hesitation, procrastination, or even distraction. It's the hidden force that convinces us to play it safe. But beneath this urge for safety lies a complex web of fear, insecurity, and unhealed wounds. In this chapter, we'll uncover the mechanics of self-sabotage, why it happens, and how to recognize it in our lives. By understanding the roots of this behavior, we can begin to dismantle its hold on us, allowing us to move forward with clarity and purpose. Why do we sabotage ourselves? At the core of self-sabotage lies a desire for self-preservation. Humans are wired for survival, and our brains are constantly working to protect us from perceived harm. While this protective instinct was necessary in ancient times, when danger was ever present, it often backfires in modern society. Today, danger is no longer limited to physical threats. It has expanded to include the fear of failure, rejection, and vulnerability. Self-sabotage is a defense mechanism. It allows us to avoid discomfort and disappointment by creating a comfortable, if restrictive, environment within our own minds. When we tell ourselves that we're not ready or not good enough, we're avoiding the potential pain that could come from failure or judgment. In essence, self-sabotage shields us from short-term discomfort, but at the cost of long-term fulfillment. The psychology of self-sabotage. Self-sabotage often originates in early experiences, where we learn certain beliefs about ourselves and the world around us. These beliefs become internalized, and we carry them into adulthood. Some common psychological roots of self-sabotage include: 1. Fear of failure. Many of us grow up with the belief that failure is something to be avoided at all costs. This belief is reinforced by a society that often rewards success and stigmatizes failure. As a result, we fear failure so intensely that we'd rather avoid trying altogether than risk not succeeding. 2. Fear of success. Ironically, success can be just as frightening as failure. Success brings change, new responsibilities, and often higher expectations. For those who fear being seen, stepping into the spotlight of success can be terrifying, leading them to subconsciously sabotage opportunities that could lead to achievement. 3. Imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is the feeling of being unworthy or fake, even when we've achieved something notable. It's the inner critic that whispers, "You're not supposed to be here." People who struggle with imposter syndrome often sabotage their success by downplaying their accomplishments, avoiding challenges, or giving up just as they're about to achieve something significant. 4. Low self-worth. A lack of self-worth leads to beliefs that we don't deserve success, happiness, or love. If we don't feel worthy, we'll unconsciously sabotage any effort that contradicts our self-image. We may settle for less, turn down opportunities, or hold ourselves back because we don't believe we're deserving. 5. Need for control. Self-sabotage can also be a way to maintain a sense of control. Success and growth often require a surrender to the unknown, which can be unsettling. By limiting our growth, we stay in familiar, controlled territory, even if it's limiting. Recognizing self-sabotage in your life. One of the most challenging aspects of self-sabotage is that it often goes unnoticed. It's a hidden, unconscious force that creeps into our thoughts and behaviors. Recognizing self-sabotage requires a heightened level of self-awareness and honesty with ourselves. Here are some common signs of self-sabotage. Procrastination. Putting off important tasks, especially those related to personal growth, is a common form of self-sabotage. It provides a temporary escape from the pressure of action. Negative self-talk. Pay attention to the words you use with yourself. Statements like, "I can't do this," "I'm not good enough," or "it's too hard" are often self-sabotaging thoughts disguised as realism. Making excuses. Excuses are a way to justify inaction. They make it easier to avoid taking responsibility, which feels safer than facing the risk of failure or discomfort. Perfectionism. The belief that everything must be perfect before we begin is a paralyzing form of self-sabotage. Perfectionism leads to chronic hesitation and inaction. Self-medication, avoidance behaviors such as overindulging in food, alcohol, or distractions are ways of numbing the anxiety associated with growth. This self-sabotage keeps us from confronting the very issues we need to address. Breaking free from self-sabotage. Once you recognize self-sabotage in your life, you can begin the work of breaking free from its grip. Here are some steps to help you dismantle self-sabotaging behaviors and create a more supportive mindset. 1. Identify your triggers. Self-sabotage is often triggered by specific situations, thoughts, or feelings. For example, you may sabotage yourself when faced with an opportunity for success or when you feel vulnerable. Identifying these triggers can help you anticipate self-sabotaging thoughts and behaviors. 2. Challenge your beliefs. Self-sabotage is driven by deeply ingrained beliefs. To overcome it, challenge these beliefs. When you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," ask yourself, "Is this really true?" Look for evidence that contradicts these beliefs. 3. Take small steps. Growth doesn't require grand gestures. Sometimes small, consistent steps can create powerful change. Start by setting small goals that push you out of your comfort zone, but feel manageable. 4. Cultivate self-compassion. Self-sabotage often thrives in a harsh inner environment. By cultivating self-compassion, you can create a kinder, more forgiving mindset that encourages growth and resilience. 5. Practice self-accountability. Hold yourself accountable for your actions and your progress. Self-accountability can be empowering as it puts the responsibility for change in your own hands. Reframing failure and success. A major aspect of overcoming self-sabotage is reframing how we view failure and success. Failure is often perceived as the worst possible outcome, but it is also a powerful teacher. Every failure holds a lesson, and every setback builds resilience. Instead of seeing failure as a dead end, learn to view it as part of your journey. Likewise, redefine success as a process of growth rather than a final destination. Success is not just about achievement. It's about becoming the person who dares to try. The path to self-discovery. Uncovering your authentic self. Self-discovery is one of the most rewarding journeys a person can embark upon. It's the process of peeling back the layers of conditioning, doubt, and external expectations to reveal who you truly are at your core. Many of us spend years, or even a lifetime, disconnected from our authentic selves, allowing the influences of society, family, and past experiences to shape our beliefs, choices, and identities. In this chapter, we'll explore why self-discovery is essential for true growth, and how to start the journey of getting to know yourself in a deeper, more authentic way. We'll discuss the practices of introspection, identifying your core values, and understanding your unique strengths and passions. By gaining a clearer sense of who you are, you'll be better equipped to make decisions aligned with your true desires and to live a life that resonates with your deepest self. The importance of self-discovery. Knowing yourself isn't just a philosophical exercise. It's a foundation for a fulfilling life. Without self-awareness, we're prone to making choices that don't align with our true nature. We might chase careers that don't fulfill us, enter relationships that don't bring us joy, or adopt habits that don't support our well-being. Self-discovery allows us to understand what drives us, what gives us purpose, and what holds meaning in our lives. The process of self-discovery also helps us recognize our patterns, including the self-sabotaging behaviors we discussed in the previous chapter. When we understand who we are, it becomes easier to detect when we're acting out of alignment with our true selves. With this knowledge, we can make choices that are more authentic and less influenced by fear or the expectations of others. Practicing introspection. Self-discovery begins with introspection, the practice of looking within. Introspection requires time and honesty with yourself. It involves reflecting on your life experiences, your emotions, and your reactions to various situations. Start by setting aside time each day or week to check in with yourself. This can be as simple as journaling, meditating, or sitting quietly and contemplating your thoughts and feelings. During these moments of introspection, ask yourself questions such as, what experiences in my life have brought me the most joy? When do I feel most alive and engaged? What situations make me feel uncomfortable, and why? What values are important to me, and how am I honoring them in my daily life? The goal is not to judge your answers, but to observe them with curiosity. Self-discovery is an ongoing process, so don't expect to find all the answers at once. The purpose of introspection is to cultivate a deeper understanding of your inner world, which can guide you as you move forward in life. Identifying your core values. Values are the guiding principles that shape our decisions and define what we stand for. They are the things that matter most to us, such as integrity, compassion, creativity, or freedom. When we live in alignment with our values, we feel more fulfilled and at peace. However, when we compromise our values, we experience inner conflict and dissatisfaction. To uncover your core values, start by considering the qualities and principles that are most important to you. You might look at moments in your life when you felt truly happy or proud. What values were you honoring in those moments? Conversely, think about times when you felt disappointed or frustrated. What values were being compromised? Here are a few common values to consider as you reflect. Integrity. Acting with honesty and consistency, even when it's difficult. Growth, the pursuit of personal and intellectual development. Connection, building meaningful relationships with others. Freedom, the ability to make your own choices and pursue your passions. Creativity, expressing your unique ideas and vision in the world. Compassion, showing empathy and kindness toward others. After identifying your core values, write them down and reflect on how you're living in alignment with them. Are there areas where you could bring your life more in line with these values? When you make decisions based on your core values, you'll feel a sense of purpose and authenticity that guides you toward a more meaningful life. Understanding your unique strengths and passions. Self-discovery isn't just about identifying your values. It's also about recognizing your strengths and passions. Each person has unique abilities and interests that make them who they are. Understanding these strengths and passions can provide direction, helping you pursue activities and goals that are both fulfilling and impactful. Start by reflecting on the following questions. What are my natural strengths? Consider tasks or activities that come easily to you. These might be things you've excelled at in your career, hobbies, or daily life. Strengths could include problem solving, empathy, creativity, or organization. What activities make me lose track of time? Think about moments when you feel fully absorbed in what you're doing. These flow states often point to areas of passion. What do I feel drawn to learn about? Are there topics, skills, or causes that capture your interest? Pay attention to what excites your curiosity and motivates you to learn more. Discovering your strengths and passions isn't about finding a single true calling, but about recognizing the activities and pursuits that make you feel alive and energized. These insights can help you shape your life in a way that feels meaningful and authentic to you. Embracing your unique identity. One of the greatest gifts of self-discovery is the freedom to embrace who you truly are. For many, this involves letting go of the expectations of others and societal pressures. It's about recognizing that your path doesn't need to look like anyone else's. The journey to authenticity involves embracing your quirks, passions, and unique traits without apology. At times, embracing your identity can feel daunting, especially if you've spent years trying to fit into roles or molds that don't reflect who you are. But remember, self-acceptance is a vital part of self-discovery. The more you accept yourself, the easier it becomes to live authentically and to pursue goals that genuinely matter to you. Building a life around self-discovery. Once you begin to understand yourself more deeply, the next step is to align your life with this newfound knowledge. This might mean setting boundaries, pursuing new goals, or making changes in relationships and habits. Living authentically often requires courage, as it may lead you to make decisions that go against the expectations of others. But the reward is a life that feels true to who you are. To bring self-discovery into your daily life, consider the following steps. 1. Set intentions. Begin each day with a clear intention to live in alignment with your values and strengths. This can help you make choices that honor your authentic self. 2. Prioritize self-care. Self-discovery can be emotionally intense, so it's important to care for yourself throughout the process. Practice self-care routines that recharge and support you. 3. Seek like-minded connections. Surround yourself with people who encourage you to be your authentic self. Relationships that are based on acceptance and mutual respect will support you in living a life that feels genuine. 4. Celebrate small wins. Personal growth isn't always dramatic. It often happens in small, incremental steps. Celebrate each moment of progress, no matter how small it may seem. The freedom of living authentically. The path of self-discovery ultimately leads to a profound sense of freedom. By knowing yourself deeply, you gain the confidence to live authentically without the need for validation from others. You'll find that your decisions are no longer driven by fear or insecurity, but by a sense of purpose and alignment with your true self. Living authentically doesn't mean that life will be without challenges, but it does mean that you'll face those challenges with greater resilience and clarity. As you continue to learn about yourself, you'll build a life that feels meaningful, fulfilling, and uniquely yours. This journey of self-discovery is the foundation for all other growth, setting the stage for you to conquer the inner mountains you once thought insurmountable. If you're ready to transform your life from the inside out, the mountain is you offers the guidance and inspiration you need to make it happen. By understanding and working through self-sabotage, you'll find that every obstacle you face, whether it's a mountain or a molehill, holds a powerful lesson within it. Thanks for tuning in to Audiobooks 2.0. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you won't miss out on our latest deep dives. And if you're ready to climb your own mountain, this book might just be the perfect guide for you. Until next time, engage your senses, transform your reading experience, and keep exploring